Hello, my beautiful soul. Welcome to Flip the Script, a podcast for millennial creatives, coaches, and spiritual entrepreneurs who are ready to be the director of their own lives. My purpose here is to plant seeds, activate you, and help you shift yourself into your highest timeline. The only thing you need to do is be willing and decide right here and right now that you are ready to live a life that turns you on. My name is Angie, and I am your money mindset coach. I am here to have deep conversations with you and your higher self. So today's episode is pre-recorded before I even started my podcast. This one is called "Make a Decision and Miracles Will Happen." The message here is so potent that I had to share it with you. You will hear me talk about realms of possibilities and YouTube, because just keep in mind, during this time I was playing around with the idea of eventually having a podcast. And so here we are. Grab your favorite drink and enjoy.
I'm so excited, so excited. Today I got a fresh cut. I just decided and I just went for it. Didn't overthink it. For me, when it comes to making decisions, I have definitely gotten so much better in just moving forward and just making a choice. And that's what this topic is going to be today. I've been kind of talking about it a little bit on my Insta story, if you follow me on there, or on TikTok as well. I've been kind of just throwing out little nuggets here and there about just making a choice, just deciding, and the power of doing that. Like when you finally make a choice, when you decide, that's when things actually start to happen in your life. That's when you allow blessings to come into your life. That is when miracles are happening in your life. That's just when shifts start to occur and shit happens, and the good kind too. Like, it's just so important. It's so important to learn how to just make choices and decide. I know I'm kind of like looking up here and looking here because I don't know, still figuring it out. Again, like me also creating this realm of possibilities. It started all out on Telegram, and I did it for a whole month, and I was loving it. I literally was loving it so much because I was able to just start speaking my truth more and more. Like, I realized, like, I just wasn't overthinking it. I wasn't really writing I wasn't writing all these notes or anything like that. I was just speaking from the heart and just allowing myself to flow. And there was no, I didn't set any expectations. Oh, it needs to be 2 hours long, or it needs to be this length of time. Like, let me just speak from the heart, and whatever comes out, and that's it, and let it be. And after doing that a couple times for myself, I started to realize, like, I want to make more of an impact. I'm here to make an impact. And that's me claiming it, right? And I was like, I need to get this on YouTube. I want to reach more people. I know people love watching this kind of stuff on YouTube, and go from there. And then that's why I just decided one night, I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to overthink it. I'm not going to try to even plan it out. I'm just going to do it. And here I am making a second video. And that's just how it is. It's about taking that inspired action. And then even if that inspired action, doesn't work out the way that you plan on it, that's okay, because then it's going to lead you to the next inspiration, the next thing to do, but you won't know until you actually start doing. Sometimes we become a little bit paralyzed, and we don't take any action because we're so busy procrastinating. We're so busy overthinking. And that's just like our coping mechanism, because there's some sort of underlying thing there. It's not that you can't make a choice. There's a reason why you're struggling to make a choice of any kind. And it could be something from so simple. And I give you this homework assignment for yourself. Like, if you see that you're a type of person that you do struggle with making decisions and making choices in your life, start small. It's not about, oh, now I have to also make a YouTube video, or now I have to approach somebody randomly on the street. No. That's not what I'm saying. Start small. Get yourself accustomed to building that trust with yourself, because a lot of times when it comes to making decisions, if we're struggling to make a decision, it's because there's a part of us that there is something that we don't trust. We're lacking trust in ourselves. And that's why we struggle, because we're like, I don't want to make the wrong choice. But the thing is, the funny thing about life is that there really is no wrong choice. It's just make a choice. And then whatever you decide in that present moment is exactly what you needed to either grow, level up, make whatever connections you needed to make. Again, if a decision doesn't fully plan out the way that you imagined it, understand, like, God is the creator of the world, right? God created us and God is within us. And God sees the bigger picture. God's like, man, look at Angie, like overthinking about this one little step. Should I post this or should I not post it? Right. And if only she knew that if she posted that, this person over here is waiting on her medicine, but because she's overthinking and probably maybe, let's say, that got freaked herself out, psyched herself out, didn't post, now this person's not able to receive that medicine. It's like we're all connected. It's like when you start to really think about it, it's such a beautiful thing. It really is. And that's why today I kind of like put this background, because it just made me think about that, like how we're all connected and we all impact each other in some sort of way. And so, yeah, so if you're a person that struggles with making a decision, making a choice, start small. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so let's say, here's the famous line. Somebody asks you, what do you want to eat? Right? A lot of us, I'm sure, we're like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. And then we can't make a choice. Well, that right there is your homework assignment. If you're that person, because that definitely was me, like I wouldn't want to make a choice. And I'm like, you decide. Like I wasn't able to just choose a place to eat because I was like, oh, well, if the food doesn't taste good, then it's my fault, And instead of just looking at it as like, oh, if it doesn't taste good, well, now we know to never go there again. And we'll try something else until we find something that we actually do like, and so, yeah, so that's how you start building trust. Understand, like if you struggle with making a choice, it's because you struggle with trusting yourself. Maybe you're really harsh on yourself when you make a mistake, if it's really a mistake, you're hard on yourself. You speak harshly to yourself. You put yourself down. And sometimes we forget, like, the way that we speak to ourselves impacts us in our everyday life. So again, if you're a person that you struggle to make decisions and choices, especially if it's coming also from like perfectionism, like you don't want to make an error, like it has to be perfect. That's also because you don't trust in yourself. Like there's something there. And I challenge you to dig deeper into that. Like what happened in your childhood that maybe is impacting you right now in your adulthood? Because those things are correlated. Okay. A lot of the things that we do as an adult is because we've been programmed or something occurred in our life when we were a child. And either we do something as a coping mechanism or we, act out because of something that has happened in the past. So I definitely challenge you to dig deeper into that, because understand, when you are starting this, if you're here, it's because either you have started your inner work, you've been doing the inner work, or you're curious about it. And if that's you, like if you're curious about it and you haven't truly delved in that, that's your soul like pushing you, giving you this inspiration to be watching this video right now. Something that I heard that I thought was really, really cool is it was really powerful. You ain't got nothing, okay? You ain't got nothing because you ain't saying nothing and you ain't deciding nothing. So a lot of us have a tendency to like complain, right? Complaining like, oh, X, Y, and Z didn't happen in my life, like all these things. But the reason why it hasn't happened is because you simply are not claiming it. You got to understand, like I speak a lot about the power of our words. Our words is so powerful. God created this world by speaking, said, let there be light, and there it is. It's such a, like that sentence right there is just, says so much. Something so simple just says so much about how powerful we are. And what did I say earlier here? I said, God is within us. God created us in the image of him, he's not really him or her, but God created us in the image of God. So God is within us. We are godly. We have the power to create. And now it's also something that I also want to point out that I've noticed a lot of people when it comes to like manifestation and the law of attraction is that sometimes people are like, oh, so does that mean that if I think something negative, then, my life is going to be negative as well? The cool thing about the world that we live in is that when it comes to, it's about what do you do on a consistent basis, what you do and say on a consistent basis, that is the reality that you are creating for yourself. So check yourself on that. Check yourself on that. If there's something that hasn't come into your reality, ask yourself, how have you been speaking about it? Just ask yourself that question. How have I been talking about the situation? Do I typically just complain and focus all on the negative, on how much I don't want this thing? That's the thing when it comes to the law of attraction, is that a lot of people think that if they announce to the world what they don't like, to all their friends and family and constantly complain about it, that it's going to change. It's not. You're putting so much energy on the negative that you're not putting any energy on the positive for the shift to happen in your life. That's how powerful you are. So if you notice that you're complaining a lot about something, digress a little, pause, and start seeing how you can change your perspective. How can you flip the script on that? How can you shift the way that you're looking at things? Because where your energy goes, I always mess this one up. The energy flows where your focus is. Let's just say it like that, right? Whatever you're focusing on, that's where all that energy is going towards. And then that's what you're going to create more of. So instead of complaining about the thing, okay, it's okay to vent. It's okay to talk about something that you don't like. That's fine. But it becomes toxic when you're constantly doing it over and over again, and you're constantly repeating it over and over again. Then you just become a broken record, and now you're just creating your own misery at that point. You're just creating your own misery at that point. So how do you change that? Okay, well, how can you look at this experience from a more positive perspective? How can you find some gratitude in the situation? And then start, maybe, like, let's say if it was not a really good situation, let's say you're in a toxic job, they treat you really bad, they ignore you, maybe they make racist comments and stuff like that. Like, okay, Angie, so you're telling me I need to be grateful for that? No, that's not what I'm saying. Little shifts that you can make is like, okay, well, I'm grateful that I at least have a job. At least the money that I'm making here, I'm able to pay my bills. Now, I know that this place is toxic, so now I'm going to start taking inspired action towards the thing that I actually do desire, which is to get the fuck out of here, right? And start claiming a better job. And so now, instead of focusing your energy on how much you hate a place, how much you dislike a place, you can focus on, you know what? I'm getting closer and closer to getting the job that I desire. I'm getting closer and closer each and every day to getting a job that respects me, that there's work-life balance, that I get paid really well, that there's diversity. And see how that changes the dynamic. Instead of only every single day complaining, I hate this job, I hate this job, I hate this job. And then guess what? The universe is only responding to your energy, to your frequency. And so it's going to respond, and it's going to create situations in your life at that job where you're going to hate it even more and more because you keep claiming it over and over again. That's how powerful your words are. But as you actually start shifting, and I speak this from pure experience, like literally, like I went through this personally, that I now currently manifest as this job that has complete work-life balance. Like I was in a completely toxic environment prior to this, where they treated us like slaves, literally. Like everything was super micromanaged. How quickly you touched a button. If you were 20 seconds off, you would get dinged for that. If you get 3 dings, you could potentially get fired. Like it was all these things. And we were getting paid pretty crappy money too, to do like big things for people. And they even were robbing me money as well on top of that. At first I was pissed. At first I was like, I hate this job. But because I've gone through this before, I made a promise to myself. I made a promise that I will never settle. I will never settle for less. I am going to respect myself, my worth, my value, because I started to realize, usually when you're in a toxic place and you're constantly in a toxic place and you keep staying there and you keep staying there and you're prolonging and prolonging, because it happened to me. I stayed at a place for 4 years that was super, super toxic and so bad for my mental health. I say that because I didn't realize my worth. I was afraid to leave because I was like, I don't think there's anything better. I hung on to that job for dear life. I was like, there's probably nothing better. Like I probably should stay here. And guess what, guys? I found something so much better. Oh my God, abundance. I'm entering into that era of abundance for myself right now, like literally as we're speaking, and you're going to be my witness here, the realms of possibilities. And that's why I say, like, the power of your words, the power of shifting yourself. Become more mindful on the language that you're speaking. And if you're not even speaking, let's say you're saying like, yeah, life is good, like but your negative self-talk, your inner talk is the complete opposite. Don't think you can just like trick the universe. Like, no, everything is energy. So you're just attracting more and more and more of those thoughts, even if you may not be speaking it out loud and you're a quiet person or you fake it. All right. And so that's what I really wanted to say here is that your words are magic. Your words are magic. Understand there's magic in this world and you are a magical being. God is within you. You're created in the image of God. You can create worlds too. Your world. You can create your reality. That's how powerful you are. So remember that when you speak the word, that is when momentum starts to continue on. It starts to move. That's where shifts start to happen in the invisible world. You may not see it right away in your current reality, because again, we live in a 3D world. That's how it's supposed to be here. But it's happening behind the scenes. And that's why it's so important. And I've spoken about this so many times of holding the vision. Hold the vision. Even if you don't see it yet, hold the freaking vision. Have faith in what you want to create for yourself. Find ways to constantly remind yourself how powerful you are, that you can create an amazing, healthy, wealthy life for yourself. Abundance is your birthright, first of all. You're meant to be abundant. God wants you to be abundant. God doesn't want you to be poor. That's the matrix tricking you if you haven't caught on to that. God doesn't want you to be poor. God wants you to be abundant. Everyone. It's the matrix that creates the division and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not going to get into that part just yet here. So just remember that you are a powerful being, that there is power in the words that you speak, and that just start making decisions. Successful people just make decisions. They decide and they commit and they move on. They're not flip-floppity, like, oh, let me make this choice. And then 10 seconds later, oh, I'm going to decide this one instead. No, they make a choice, they commit. And if things don't work out, okay, later on, they change the path. But successful people make decisions. So make decisions. If you want success in your life, if you want to truly change your reality, if you're not happy, a lot of people aren't. A lot of people wear a lot of fake masks that I see right through. Like, be honest with yourself. At least give yourself that. If you can't be honest to the world, be honest to yourself. Because who are you trying to impress? As you. Be honest with you. Be honest with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what do you want to create? What do you want to create together? And understand, like, you are so deserving of that life, of the luxury life, whatever that is for you, you are deserving of it, and there's no right or wrong. If you want that car, freaking get that car. You deserve it. Be the example. If you want that apartment, be the example that it is possible for anybody to attain it. Maybe you want to live on a farm. Fuck it, do it. Show that it's possible. Like, so many of us just overthink and worry about what other people are going to say when they're not the ones living your life. At the end of the day, who's the one that's suffering because you're not making decisions? Who's suffering? Exactly. You. You're the one suffering. The person like trolling you or judging you, they're going to be miserable. Let them be. Let them live their miserable reality. But you don't need to accept that part. You can protect your energy. It's important. If you need to cut people out of your life that aren't empowering you, that aren't supporting you, that aren't encouraging you to do better in life, do it. Trust me. So yeah, that is the message today. Ooh, that was powerful. I love when it just comes like that. I was making sure that this was on. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even check. Oh, that would be so sad. But yes, you are powerful, magical, and it's time. This is your time. It's literally still November. It's still 2023. You still have like a month and a half to start making things happen for yourself, for things to start shifting in your reality. Right now, in this very moment, start. Go get a journal, write down what it is that you want to claim and read it every day. And if you are a little bit like, I don't know if I'm going to read my journal every day or whatever, and you love, listening to audios, you have a phone, right? Oh, you can't see it. You have a phone, right? Okay. Just go to your voice memos and say it to yourself. And in present tense, I am blah, blah, blah. I am creating this in my life. Speak it in present tense and then listen to it every day. While you're driving, while you're washing the dishes, there's no excuse. The only person holding you back from achieving the things that you desire, from creating this amazing, abundant, juicy, wealthy, healthy life is yourself, is literally yourself. So stop worrying about other people, what they're doing, how they're achieving. Nah, stay in your lane, stay focused in your lane. Congratulate others, you're on your own journey. They're on their own journey. So remember that.
I hope this episode helps you move the needle forward on your business journey. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, the year is not over yet. So if you need some help with the next steps in your business, or you want to get some feedback on your content and see where the gaps are, click the link below to schedule a free Social Spark business audit, or DM me the word Spark. Excited to connect with you. See you on the next episode.